In this video, I use a combination of Fieldcraft and Camouflage to get my best ever pictures of wild rabbits. When it comes to photographing wild rabbits, Fieldcraft is really important. You need to be aware of the wind direction, use appropriate camouflage to blend in, and also you want to have some degree of comfort for that long wait. I've got the perfect location to photograph rabbits here on private land. Today I wanted to do something a little different by shooting into the light. I previously failed to get clear shots here when I was lying down due to the raised grassy tussocks, so I'm now using a low-seated approach, but I still need to conceal myself. I'm wearing a ghillie suit, as I did do in a previous video. One of the good things about this is the hood it has more of an irregular shape, and that really helps to break up my outline. Birds and particularly animals can be very good at recognising the outline of a human head. It also has a bit of mesh across the face so I can see clearly enough. I've decided to do something really simple today, which is just to get a piece of green scrim netting and put that across to hide the tripod and my lower body. I'm using a little trick here to make sure that the scrim netting stays as high as possible, just a little garden tie across the top, and then I'm using a little sapling on the left to attach it to, and then just attaching the other part of the scrim netting to the fence. Now it's covering both the tripod and my legs. I'm using a Canon R6 with an EF 500mm f4 lens and a 1.4 extender. Anything that has a translucent quality works wonderfully for backlighting, so I'm hoping that light is going to shine through those pink ears and create some really good images. Within half an hour, a few rabbits step through the gate and into the field. At first, they stay close to the edge, but gradually begin to come out into the open. I stay very still and allow them to settle. It doesn't take long before more rabbits appear, and they're all looking very relaxed. It seems my camouflage is working well. Of course, it also helps that I'm downwind. I'm getting some really nice side to back lighting, shining on those rabbits, highlighting the shape, and also, as I'd hoped, I'm getting some beautiful lighting coming through those ears. I'm seeing so much natural behaviour, from scratching to grooming, and even specifically a couple of rabbits that are spending time cleaning their ears. This is a really good sign that they're comfortable with my presence. I did actually try the tracking autofocus on my camera, but it just wasn't working too well. That's sometimes going to be the case if you're shooting into the light, I think. So I went back to the old spot focus and it worked perfectly fine. Exposure can be tricky when you're backlighting like this. I always use evaluative metering, and the general approach I take is that whatever my exposure meter is saying, I tend to always underexpose it. So maybe -2/3 or -1 is pretty standard. And then yes, it's going to look like everything is on the dark side, but your highlights aren't going to get blown out. Here I was able to keep a check on the images. If you're using a mirrorless camera like this, usually you can see the histogram when you're taking the pictures as well. If you'd like some help with the technique of backlighting, and I have produced a little photo guide, perhaps you could call it a cheat sheet, something you can take with you into the field, downloadable to your phone. It gives you suggested camera settings, advice on how to expose and focus options, and it also shows you how to overcome common problems that you'll get when shooting into the light. If you'd like one of these, then click the link in the description. This curious rabbit came unbelievably close. It almost got too close for the camera to focus on. And I think when this happens, it's a good sign that your camouflage is definitely working well. I could see it sniffing the air a lot. I'm sure it's trying to check me out, but at no point did it look distressed or run away and went about its business. As the sun gets lower, the contrast becomes less harsh and the lighting a little softer. The background is also in a bit more shade. As the sun begins to dip behind the trees, the light changes even more. It's quite different now, and the foreground has a beautiful colour and vibrance. We're now well into the evening and the sunlight here is largely gone. I'm more than happy with this session. I wanted to say how much I appreciate all the comments, all the suggestions I had on my last video around Fieldcraft and Camouflage, and that included things like making sure you stay downwind, which I do think is the case with these rabbits. Also in terms of being on the ground, maybe use a festival type floor seat, I like that. And also if you're going to lie down like I often do, try lying on your side because it might be more comfortable for your neck. Now I was actually going to try that, didn't get around to it, but I'll definitely try it in the future. And one of my favourite suggestions was, in terms of breaking up the outline of your head, was just to use some scrim netting and just kind of fashion an irregular shape around your head. I thought that was just a really good and simple suggestion. I got some lovely pictures of those rabbits today shooting into the light, and I think the camouflage worked really well. The combination that I had just helping to blend into the environment, and I think the hood with the ghillie suit, I think that helps with the irregular outline of the head as well. Thank you so much for all your suggestions. I'm going to try and employ some of those suggestions for camouflage and Fieldcraft when I can in the future. And if you want one of those guides for backlighting, just click the link in the description, and I'll see you next time.